is getting an explosive offensive player, a shutdown defender, and of course, a winner, a national champion.
He's the highest scoring player in the Big East and is on the short list for NCAA Defensive Player of the Year.
Zach Edey is one of the most dominant players in college basketball history.
The zestiest man in basketball. Jared McCain is the most controversial player in college basketball.
3 weeks, and I wanted to do my final mock before that happens, and I wanted to do a GM edition one. So what is going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Welcome here to my first GM mock draft of this mock draft season, and basically I'm just going to go through this full first round mock if I was the GM of every team. So this is what I would do, not what I would be predicting these teams to do. And if you guys do enjoy these mock drafts, feel free to drop a thumbs up and let me know in the comments, like always, do you agree or disagree with any of the picks that I made? So we're going to start off number 1 overall pick with the Detroit Pistons. I really think it would be between two players if I were the Pistons. It is tough though, because Reece Shea would be a great fit as a stretch forward next to Jalen Duren, but I'm just kind of out on Reece Shea as a top 2 pick in this draft. I don't have him in my top 3 of my big board right now. The 2 players it comes down to are Alex Sarr, the big man from Perth, and then also Ron Holland, who ESPN has ranked 13th. I have Ron Holland as my 2nd ranked player in this draft class. He's the most athletic player in this class, which is a benefit. We saw how important that was to the Thompson twins last year. He's one of the best defenders, especially on the perimeter in this class. Maybe not like Ryan Dunn, but just up there with Stephon Castle, in my opinion. Can slash, can cut, can work the pick and roll. The big question mark for him, though, is his jumper, sometimes his shot selection as well. And honestly, it's a weird fit because I love Jalen Duren long term, but I do think that Sarr and Duren could eventually work out together because Sarr does have some outside shot potential, and you can't go wrong defensively with Sarr or Holland because both are projected to be elite defenders in this league. But Sarr maybe has more outside shot potential than Ron Holland, and Detroit needs to add shooting and defense next year to go on the foundation of Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, Asor Thompson, and we'll see if it's going to be Jaden Ivey or not. So I'm still going to go Alex Sarr number 1. You're going to go with kind of the growing pains of him and Duren next to each other, but I think it's going to be great defensively, and I think it could work out for them. So we're going to go number 1, Sarr to Detroit. 2, Washington. I mean, Sarr, I would love to Washington for sure. And it's weird how this mock is going to follow with these teams here, because Donovan Clingan could be a good fit. But as the GM of this team, I'm going to get this team a franchise point guard in Nikola Topic. Yes, he is my 3rd ranked player in this class right now. Modern day point guard, great size, great strength, can get to the rim, got a good free throw percentage, and that makes me think, you know, he could possibly have an outside shot. That's a big question with him. That's a big question with like so many guys in this draft class as well. Can they be good shooters? Because you can talk about Topic, Holland, Castle, Ryan Dunn, Reece Shea. There's so many guys I feel like that have so many question marks with their outside shot, and if they were able to knock them down consistently, maybe they'd be going a lot higher. But I'm going to go to Topic to Washington, them get a franchise point guard. I still like Tyus Jones. I think Jones could be a nice mentor. I just don't know if Ron Holland to Washington is just a logjam of forwards, right? Because they have Kuzma, they have Bilal Coulibaly and Denny Avdia, who are their building blocks. If they move Kuzma, then I like the idea of Ron Holland. So at 3, we have Portland. Yeah, they are getting my 2nd ranked guy in this class here, Ron Holland, going to help them out defensively. I hope they move Jeremy Grant this offseason. He could be alongside DeAndre Ayton and can help him out, help side defense in that front court. It can also be a nice perimeter partner with Shaedon Sharpe out there and Anthony Simons and Scoot Henderson, who I think could be a great pick and roll partner with as well. So Portland getting some much needed defense here, Ron Holland, and they could be just a perfect team next year to have their core develop and then also maybe have a good pick in that 25 draft. Clingan could also be in consideration here. So that leaves us at number 4 with the Charlotte Hornets. Now that the way that this is fallen, I don't hate the idea of Reece Shea. I kind of love the idea of Reed Sheppard to Charlotte. I'm a big fan of Reed Sheppard a ton. I think Stephon Castle could also be in play here as well. So I think it comes down to like, who do you prefer next to Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball and Mark Williams? Is it Reece Shea? Is it Reed Sheppard? Is it Stephon Castle? I mean, people do like Montes Buzelis a ton as well, but I think when I'm filling out this roster right now, I like the idea of Reed Sheppard in Charlotte. I like him playing with LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller. Can be that connector piece, that glue guy between the two that can make that extra pass. Isn't going to be a possession stopper. Have good court vision, is one of the best shooters in this draft as well, and I think is somebody that could go in the top 5 in this class. So we're on the clock here. 5, San Antonio. Man, the way that this is falling, I don't like Clingan here at 5. I think it goes down between Stephon Castle, because he can really help out this defense, I'm a big fan of Isaiah Collier, but I think it's a little too high. So it's pretty much going to be Reese Shea or Rob Dillingham as well. And I still like Rob Dillingham a ton. So I'm going to have him go here to San Antonio. Got good playmaking ability, but I don't think he's going to be an elite passer and facilitator in this league by any means. But he's one of the best shooters in this class. And him playing alongside Wemby in the pick and roll could definitely help out some of his defensive weaknesses. So I'm going to go Dillingham to San Antonio here at 5. I also would like Stephon Castle as well. Would like Ron Holland a ton. And would obviously love Alex Sarr and Nikola Topic, but they're just not on the board. Next up at number 6, we have the Toronto Raptors. I'm going to have them go, ooh, this is tough as well because I like the Stephon Castle pick for them. And if I'm on the board, Donovan Clingan could be, oh man, Clingan is there and I like him as that long-term 5 because I'm not a huge fan of Jakob Poeltl's defense. But with some questionable shooting out there, I think for floor spacing purposes, we're going to get Zachary Reese-Shea in Toronto. Scotty Barnes, good shooter, but not elite by any means. He definitely has some question marks still with his outside shot in his game. RJ Barrett played well in Toronto, but has had question marks with his outside shot over the course of his career. We know Jakob Poeltl's a non-shooter, and Reese-Shea could be somewhat of a stretch 4 for them, a nice floor spacer for maybe point Scotty Barnes next year, or if it's Emmanuel quickly at the 1. And I'm going to have Reese-Shea fall to 6 here to the Raptors. Some people, and ESPN, still have him going number 1. So we're on the clock at 7 with the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm going to have Donovan Clingan go here. I think you can really explore the idea of having Clingan as the starting 5, Triple J at the power forward spot, who's still one of the best defensive big men in the league, but could space the floor, and Clingan can be that full-on rim protector, and you could have Jaren Jackson Jr. out on the perimeter, in which he's a good defender as well out there, and I think Clingan has good footwork as well for somebody of his size and could be a nice mobile center. At number 8, the Utah Jazz. I think I like Stephon Castle here. I know they could look for a true 1 at this position, but I think they also need to get better on the defensive end of the floor, and I think Castle could be that guy. I would like to see them maybe move on from Jordan Clarkson this offseason. I like what I saw at Colin Sexton last year in their rookies of Hendricks, Keontae George, and Bryce Sensabaugh. So let's add Castle into that young core mix and have his defense hopefully be standout right away, maybe playing with like Walker Kessler and see how they can defend the pick and roll. So number 9, we have the Houston Rockets. The way that this draft is falling, I mean, I would love Jared McCain here potentially, but I'm still going to go with the potential of Cody Williams, and I think Houston is a place where it's going to be not too much pressure on him right away. They've had a good development track so far with recent standouts like Alperen Şengün, even Jabari Smith Jr., and what we've seen of Jalen Green. But Cody Williams has a lot of question marks to his game. His confidence needs to be there at the next level. He needs to have a willing to shoot the ball and not be hesitant on the perimeter. So I think I'm going to have Cody Williams go here at 9. This is from the Brooklyn pick, so they're playing with house money. At number 10, I'm going to have the Atlanta Hawks select Matas Buzelis. I think Okongwu is going to be the starting 5 next year. We'll see if they end up moving Clint Capella in the offseason. We'll see what they do with DeJounte Murray and Trae Young. They used their first round pick on a guard last year and Kobe Buffkin. They do have to figure out their logjams at the forward spots. You'd think that they're going to move on from Sadiq Bey in the offseason. Jalen Johnson broke out last year. Still have DeAndre Hunter making a ton of money and Bogdan Bogdanovic as well. And it looks like AJ Griffin is out of the fold, but let's bring in Matas Buzelis, who could be kind of switchable at the 2, the 3, the 4, or the 5. He's got great height, obviously at 6'10". He definitely needs to work on his outside shot. He's somebody with a huge question mark that I should have mentioned before with his outside jumper, because if he shot it well from the Ignite this year, he was going to be a top 3 pick in this draft. The intangibles are there, high risk, high reward player, and the Hawks need that in this upcoming season. I'm going to have a little bit of a shock here at 11. I don't think the Bulls should target a guard whatsoever, but I'm going to take somebody that is a top 12 player in this class for me. They're getting him at number 11. ESPN just may not be a big fan of him, and that's going to be Tyler Smith. Somebody that can play the 4, that can play the 5, nice versatility, nice switchability on that end of the floor. Could help out Nikola Vucevic on that front court, but could space the floor for somebody at 6'10", 6'11", strong already, needs to put on a little bit more weight, but has a great ball handle for somebody of his size, and the intangibles are there. Like, I don't know why. There's a player like this every year, like Taylor Hendricks last year, people loved out of UCF, and I think Tyler Smith is just as good of a prospect as Hendricks was, and we saw how effective Hendricks was at the end of the year for Utah. Chicago, I think, needs to take a wing or a big here. Do not take a guard. You have Caruso, Levine coming back, Kobe White in his breakout season, Artisun Moon his breakout season, Lonzo's coming back. Yeah, don't take a guard. Let's take Tyler Smith. Love that for Chicago. I'm going to go Dalton Connect here at 12 for the OKC Thunder. They could look at a big man as well. They could look at Kyle Filipowski. Maybe it's a little early for Yves Missi. I think I'd love the idea of Tyler Smith there as well, but Dalton Connect could be what they maybe thought Gordon Hayward was going to be at the deadline. Somebody that's a much older prospect, 5-year college player, was a breakout player last year for the Volunteers, one of the best scorers in this class, beautiful looking jumper, and can run that second unit offensively. Sacramento at 13 could go a couple different ways here, so they're keeping their pick because it was lottery protected from the Kevin Huerter trade. We'll see what happens with Malik Monk in free agency. We'll see also if they move on from Davion Mitchell. Keon Ellis broke out last year, but I love Jared McCain in this class. In my opinion, he's one of the best shooters in this class. He's one of the safer prospects in this class, and having a guard rotation next year, we'll say Malik Monk they get outbid on, and it's Huerter, it's Fox, it's Keon Ellis, and Jared McCain. I like that a ton, and he could definitely replace Malik Monk next year and could be NBA ready more than some of these other guys around him, like a Jacoby Walter or an Isaiah Collier. So at 14, the last pick of the lottery, I like Jacoby Walter here to Portland. We took Ron Holland earlier. This pick is from Golden State. It's going to be a fun lottery for Blazers fans. Walter has immense upside, right? Great athleticism, great on-ball defense when he is in that zone. Solid ball handle, but the shot is inconsistent at times. He was a good three-point shooter last year, but overall shot selection had its question marks. He had his inefficiencies at the rim, but could be in a nice kind of risk-free environment in Portland that shouldn't be good next year. And I really hope they move on from like Malcolm Brogdon and Jeremy Grant so we can get more run for Walter and Holland, which may be the two most athletic players in this class. So first, non-lottery pick, 15, Miami Heat. This is an easy one. It's Devin Carter. This guy has Miami Heat written all over him. He rebounds. He hustles. Like I said, crashes the glass at an elite level on the offensive end of the floor. He's a good three-point shooter. He's physical. He's tough. Great on-ball defense. Great help defense. This dude would be so frustrating to watch in Miami because of how good and important he would be for the Miami Heat, and I would love this pick so much. So 16, we have the Orlando Magic. This is a pick that I think they need some shooting. Keyshawn George fits them 3-and-D and that environment that they really like to build there. I don't hate the idea of Kevin McCullough, who's a little bit NBA ready right away more than these other guys. Kyle Filipowski can space the floor a little bit, but I don't know if they would want to add another big man in this class. Top 20, and I would love this for Toronto because they can get a lead ball handler off the bench. Building a nice young guard foundation there with him and Emmanuel quickly. He's a bowling ball at the rim, can get to the rim with just ease because he drives so well. He's so strong. And when he came back from his injury last year with USC, played at a great level. Getting him at 17, that's a fun class with Sachet and Collier. All right, so this is the Lakers pick here at 18. I am going to assume that the Pelicans are going to give this pick to the Lakers and they're going to own the Lakers 25 first. It's a weaker class. They're picking kind of in this range here at 18. So you'd have to assume maybe they'd want their pick in that 25 draft, which is going to be a little bit better. And this is where I'm going to have Kyle Filipowski go off the board for the Lakers, not the Pelicans. Can space the floor, can be a nice offensive hub in the paint, and the Lakers just need more big man depth. We don't need to see Christian Wood and Jackson Hayes out there for the Lakers playing alongside Anthony Davis or behind him. So just kind of a quick recap so far. Here's what the draft picks have pretty much looked like. So we're on the clock at 19 with the Sixers. Ooh, this is interesting because the Sixers, I think, need a ton, and obviously they're going to have an open cap sheet this offseason as well, but I do like, I think for them, projecting long-term, Keyshawn George. I don't think he's going to be great right away, and I don't know if Philly really needs that because they're going to have this cap space. They do have some veterans. Maxi's obviously the guy in that backcourt, but Keyshawn George could have great 3-and-D potential on the back end of that rookie contract, and I like his ball movement ability as well, and he has a pretty looking jumper. 19 at Philly, I like that upside. 20 here for Cleveland. I like Tristan da Silva. Similar for Orlando Magic. They want to be right in that spot next year. He's NBA ready, like Kevin McCullough. Could do a little bit of everything. Can pass, can rebound, can shoot, can play defense. He's kind of a do-it-all guy. I think he's going to be a top 20 pick for sure. Pelicans at 21. They need some size. This is where I would probably take Zach Edey from the Pelicans. Jonas Valanciunas, talented offensive big man, not great defensively. I think I would take a chance if I'm New Orleans. I think it's either Zach Edey or Yves Missi here. I would also look at Kel'el Ware, but I think Edey just kind of has that intriguing factor to him. And at 21, if you're in New Orleans, I think you take the chance on it because they got draft picks going forward. I would take a risk on Edey. 22, we have the Milwaukee Bucks, man. They also need some big man help, but they need to get younger, right? Like we're seeing a lot of veterans play for them. Brook Lopez, Malik Beasley, Jay Crowder, obviously Dame's up there in age, Chris Middleton. You get into your Danilo Gallinari's of the world because Bobby Portis ended up getting suspended in game number 4 against the Pacers. I think they can go for Tijon Salon though, a little bit higher upside. I hope they would develop him kind of at a quicker pace than they've tried with Marjon Beauchamp, but he can space the floor. He's strong, he's physical, and maybe they're projecting him to be the next Giannis. Not obviously going to happen, but could be somebody with upside off that bench. 23, the Phoenix Suns. They need a point guard. Let's go out and get Bub Carrington. Carlton Carrington can facilitate, can play make, one of the younger players in this draft class that are coming out of college, and he could score at a great rate. I have no idea if Booker's going to be on this roster next year. No idea if Beal or KD's going to be on this roster, but Carrington, young, could be a nice building block going forward. At 24, we have the New York Knicks here. I think they could look at big men. Yves Missi can offensive rebound, defensive rebound, block shots, run the pick and roll, catch alley-oops. With Isaiah Hartenstein being a free agent, Mitchell Robinson has his injury concerns every year. Missi would be a nice pick. And the Knicks have back-to-back picks here at 25. I think, like, since I took Missi, I don't know if they would take Bobby Klintman, So I think they would maybe take a chance on Johnny Furphy here because he's got great floor spacing and playmaking ability. Maybe not really facilitating, but creating his own shot. But he is a very raw prospect. I thought he should go back to Kansas. Looks like he may be actually in the draft, and I think the Knicks can take a chance on him. Let him kind of learn the ways in his rookie season and maybe even his sophomore year, but could be great on that back end of that rookie deal. Kind of like the Keyshawn George pick. 26, the Washington Wizards. We took Nikola Topic earlier. I would take Terrence Shannon here. I think he can come in right away, score for you. It would be interesting to have like Kuzma, Shannon, Jordan Poole all playing together, but he's somebody that can come off the bench and get you a bucket or two and make Washington look a little bit more competitive next season. Minnesota at 27. I like Juan Nunez as kind of a playmaking guard for them. I like AJ Mitchell a ton as well in this draft out of UC Santa Barbara. But you know who I would go with them? I would end up taking Hunter Salas out of Wake Forest. ESPN has him ranked 49th. I have a borderline first round grade on him, and I love that fit in Minnesota. If some of these other point guards like Bub Carrington are off the board, you could look at Tyler Kolek, like I said, Trey Alexander from Creighton, AJ Mitchell from Santa Barbara, but Salas can pass, he could shoot, he could defend. I'd like that in Minnesota. So many guys here that I would take here at 28. So it's going to be tough to kind of make these cuts. I'm going to go Bobby Klintman here. You could also look at point guard for Denver, but maybe with Zeke Naji, not really taking a step this season. He could be nice, switchable, and can space the floor, play some defense for Denver next season. Second and last pick, we have the Utah Jazz. I took Stephon Castle earlier. I think they can go for a point guard. Probably more developmental play in Juan Nunez, I would do. I don't like him as much as a prospect as Tyler Kolek, but I don't really like the fit of Tyler Kolek in Utah. So I'm going to go Nunez here at 29. And for Boston, the last pick in the first round, a couple guys that actually still have first round grades on. Ryan Dunn, first round grade. Kolek, first round grade. Kel'el Ware, first round grade as well. Dylan Jones, borderline first round grade. I like Pacome a ton out of France. Good shooter. And Daron Holmes, ranked way too low. I would probably take Holmes here, but I'm going to opt for the nice idea of getting Ryan Dunn in Boston. And him, Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jaylen Brown. Oh my God, playing defense, it would be insanity how good you would not be able to score on them. So the final pick of this mock, Ryan Dunn to Boston. Never mocked that yet. I kind of love that fit. So yeah, hope you guys did enjoy my GM mock draft. Let me know if you did by dropping a thumbs up. Let me know if you liked the pick that I made for your team or you disliked it. Like I said, this is going to be my last mock draft before the lottery, which is on Mother's Day this year. What are we doing, NBA? Why'd we schedule that? Why couldn't we just do the Monday following Mother's Day? I don't really know. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to live stream for the draft, but we'll kind of know closer towards that date. But thank you all for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. Drop a like if you did. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.